Hello students, I am here with a very new video on behalf of Edu4Nation. In today's video, you are going to learn a new topic from the chapter Human Eye and the Colorful World. This is the 11th chapter of your class 10 science textbook. So to begin with, uh, I want to say one thing. If you like this video, if you enjoy this video till the last second, and if you think that you have been benefited from this video very much, then of course like and share the video and subscribe my channel Edu4Nation. So let's begin. To learn this chapter, you have you have to grasp some previous concepts. I think you have already grasped this concept because you have completed the 10th chapter of your textbook. This is from light, reflection and diffraction. So what are the prerequisites? First, you have to know the phenomena of reflection and diffraction. Secondly, you have to know the laws of reflection and refraction. Thirdly, so you have to you have the concept of lenses and ray diagram. Then the fourth one is very important, the power of a lens. So these four topics should be cleared very much when we go for this chapter. Okay. So I have divided this chapter into some topics and subtopics. Of them, I will study only one. So this topic is on the structure of human eye. For the time being, our study will be confined only to the structure of human eye. So in this chapter, in this part, we'll learn the different components of human eye and some functionaries and functions of this functionaries. So then learning outcomes. So what are the learning outcomes? So after reading this topic, you will be able to define eye, eyeball, components of eye and draw the diagram of eye with identified components. You can be able to compare different components of eye. You can establish a relationship between the components of eye with their functions. So let's begin with the human eye. The human eye is the most important sense organ of human body. It is used to see the beautiful nature and the natural phenomena. So we have five sense organs. Of them, this is one of the most important organs. So you also know that there are two important entities with which we can see the world. With the help of these two, we can see the world. One is of course light, and the other is your eyes. So without these eyes, you cannot see the figure. It's still in presence of light also. So we have already studied about light in the 10th chapter. So in this chapter, we'll study about the human eye. Okay. So it is also like a optical device, like camera. A camera has a lens. We have also have a lens. Then camera has a film behind the lens. So we have also a retina. So camera has a shutter. So we have also eyelids. That means it's resemble with that of a camera. So we will study this human eye in the next section. So before describing about different components of eye and their functions, let us discuss about the whole eye, that means the eyeball, at which these components are attached or they are the parts of the eyeball. So what is eyeball? So without your eyelids, the portion of the eye we know is called eyeball. This is more or less globular, spherical and muscular. So this this part is called eyeball. So we'll discuss about eyeball first, because the every components of the eyes are attached with this on this eyeball, or they are the parts of the eyeball. So we have to study first the eyeball. So look at the figure, these are our eyeballs. So it is more or less globular capsule of the vertebrate eye formed by the sclera and the cornea together with their content structure. So there are two terms, sclera and cornea. So I shall let you learn this what are sclera and cornea at the later part. So for the time being, it is what? It is more or less globular capsule of the vertebrate eye formed by the sclera. So sclera actually nothing but this white part is called sclera. So when you look on someone's eye, what you'll find? The white part is there. So this white part is called sclera. And on the sclera there is a bulge part which is transparent and dome shaped. This is called cornea. Okay, these two terms will be later described and explained clearly. Okay. So then the diameter of the eyeball is about 2.3 centimeters. So it is more or less spherical. So the diameter is almost 2.3 centimeter on an average. So the eyeball is made up of three layers. This eyeball is made up of three layers. The three layers lie flat one to another. So enclosing various anatomical structures. So they enclose many structures, many components we will find. So what are these layers? So we have to study these layers also. The eye has three main layers. These layers lie flat against each other and form the eyeball. The outermost layer or the outer layer of the eyeball is a tough white opaque membrane called sclera. This is what I have to define. I have already said about this. So this is sclera. This is the white part of the eye. The slight bulge in the sclera at the front of the eye is a clear, thin, dome-shaped tissue called the cornea. So a transparent tissue is there on the bulge part of the cornea. No, sorry, on the bulge part of the sclera. It is a dome shape. It is called cornea. And this cornea is very important. So we have to study this cornea. So middle layer is the choroid. The front of the choroid is the color part of the eye called iris. So when you look at someone's eyes, so you will find some color of the eye. You will find the color of the eye. So this color of the eye is nothing but your what? This is the color part. It is called iris. This is a circular diaphragm, circular diaphragm. So this part is called iris. This is called iris. This color is in this case it is blue and it is green. So in the center of the iris is a circular hole or opening called the pupil. So you will find a black part on the iris. This black part is nothing but your opening to the eye. So this is called pupil. Okay. The inner layer is the retina, which lines back two-thirds of the eyeball. The first layer is sclera, the second layer is choroid, and the innermost layer is the retina, which lines the back two-thirds of the eyeball. So inside the eye, the most inner part is the retina, and retina covers almost two-thirds of the eyeball. The retina consists of two layers, so it also made up of two layers. The sensory retina, which contains nerve cells that process visual information and send it to the brain. So this part contains nerve fibers, etc., which converts the light energy into electrical signals and then transferred and then is carried to the brain, where the signal is interpreted and the brain will give some order. And the retinal pigment epithelium, and the other part is another layer is retinal pigment epithelium, which is also known as RPE, which lies between the sensory retina and the wall of the eye. So the three layers are completed. Now the eye has three chambers or sections. So these sections are called chambers. So what are the sections? The inside of the eye is divided into three sections called chambers. First chamber is called anterior chamber, so which is the front part of the eye between the cornea and the iris. So the space between the iris and the cornea is known as what? Anterior chamber. And the gap between the posterior chamber, the gap between the iris and the lens is called the posterior chamber. The space between the region between the iris and the lens is called posterior chamber. And the last one is vitreous chamber, which is between the lens and the back of the eye. So these three sections are in the eye, and they have the name as anterior chamber, posterior chamber, and vitreous chamber. Now we'll discuss about different components of eye. So what are the main components of eye? The first component of eye is cornea. It is the outermost part of human eye and allows the light to enter in the eye. The cornea acts as the eye's outermost lens. It forms the transparent bulge on the front surface of the eyeball. It is dome-shaped, transparent tissue. Okay, so see the figure. This part, this bulged outward part, this part is called cornea. This is transparent. Okay, and also there is another transparent part. This part is also transparent. So the whole sclera is covered with a transparent epithelium known as conjunctiva. So this is called conjunctiva, but except the cornea, the whole sclera is covered with this epithelium. It's called conjunctiva. Okay, so the cornea functions like a window that controls and focuses the entry of light into the eye. The cornea contributes between 65 to 75% of the eye's total focusing power. So the focusing power is contributed by both the cornea and the lens, but mainly it is contributed by the cornea. So the most of the lights are converged by your cornea. So it is almost 65 to 75%. So when the light strikes the cornea, it bends or reflects the incoming light onto the lens. So when light falls upon it, so it bends the light into the lens, so that the lens adjusts itself to form an image on the retina. Okay. The second component of eye is called iris, which is already been described. It's a dark circular diaphragm having hole in the center. The hole is called pupil. The circular diaphragm has a muscles and color pigments. The color of the eye depends on these pigments. Okay. So that means iris is colorful because due to the presence of some pigments. You know the color of blood is red. Why? Because due to the presence of hemoglobin, a color pigments. Similarly, the color of a leaf is green. Why? Because it contains some color pigments. They are known as chlorophyll. So that means the color of the eye is also due to some pigments present in the iris. So you find different persons having different colored eye. So there are 6 basic colors of eye. So one is blue, then amber, then brown, then gray, then green, and then hazel or red color. So these are the 6 basic colors that are found on a human eye. Okay. So why are these color? Because due to the presence of pigments. The function of iris is to control the size of the pupil. So the basic function of the iris is to control the size of the pupil. So now we will study about pupil. Is the central hole present within the dark circular diaphragm of the iris. The iris of the pupil is not fixed and changes depending on the amount of light entering the eye. So this was iris. This was iris. So look at the figure. It's an iris, and this iris has an opening. This is called pupil. This opening is called pupil. Through pupil, light enters into the lens. Okay. So in front of the lens, there is iris, and iris is a circular opening. It is known as pupil. But the size of the pupil is not fixed. It changes according to the amount of light entering the eye. So since if more and more light enters the eye, it can harm the eyelids. It can harm the eyelids as well as the retina. It can burn the retina and the eyelids. So in order to save them from the large amount of light, the size of the pupil is changed according to the amount of light, so that the optimum level of light can enter the lens. Okay. So how it is done? It is done with the help of a special type of muscle called what? This muscle is called iris. This diaphragm is known as iris. That muscle is a circular diaphragm is called iris. Okay. With the help of this iris, the size of the pupil can be changed. So one thing I have to. So have we experienced the situation when you return from a bright sunlight outside to a dim room? We experience a temporary blindness. Now tell me why. Can you answer me? So I'll answer. When you are in the sun, more amount of light may damage your eye functions like lens and retina. Hence your pupil becomes smaller by the relaxation of the iris. But after some time, the pupil grows bigger to allow more light to move into your eye to enable you to see. Okay. So this is the reason. So when you are in the bright sunlight, so more and more light are coming to your entering in your eye, so the pupil become smaller with the help of iris, so that an optimum level of light may enter your retina and lens. Okay. So now when you come into a dim room, so in that case you will have access of lesser amount of light. In this case, what will happen? The pupil will grow bigger, so that more and more light can enter into your eye, so that you can easily see a figure. So this will enable you to see the figure clearly. So now we will study about eye lens. The eye lens is a crystalline double convex lens and made up of transparent and flexible tissue. So this is our eye lens. See the figure? This is our eye lens. So what is the shape of the eye lens? So it is convex lens. Actually, it is a double convex lens, biconvex lens. and made up of transparent and flexible tissue. So it is made up of transparent tissue and it is crystalline in nature. So it is behind the pupil. It is behind the pupil and held by a muscle, a special type of muscle called ciliary muscle. So these muscles are known as ciliary muscles. So ciliary muscles hold the lens in the appropriate position with the help of some ligaments known as suspensory ligaments. So these are suspensory ligaments. These are suspensory ligaments. Okay. So ciliary muscles क्या करता है? So it holds the lens at the appropriate positions. So how? With the help of some suspensory ligaments. It focuses the images of the objects on the retina of the eye. So it is a function of the eye lens. It focuses the images of the objects on the retina of the eye. So it adjusts its focal length so that an image can be formed on the retina. This is the function of our eye lens. So now we will study about ciliary muscle. So these muscles hold the eye lens in position. These muscles control the focal length of the eye lens. When this muscle contracts, the lens becomes thick and the focal length of the lens decreases. On the other hand, when ciliary muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes thin and focal length increases. So this is how the eye lens, the focal length of the eye lens changes. So how? By the action of the ciliary muscles. So when the ciliary muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes thin. So when the ciliary muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes straight, thin. So if it is thin, that means its bending is minimum. So if bending is minimum, then its curvature is minimum. If its curvature is minimum, that means its focal length increase. Focal length will increase. So similarly, when it contracts, okay. So look at the skin. Look at me. So if the ciliary muscle contract, so it will become thick. Thick means its bending will be more. If it's bending more, इसका bending मतलब ज़्यादा होना इसका मतलब क्या है? If its bending is more, that means that it is curvature is more. If curvature is more, then focal length will decrease. So this is how the focal length of the eye is adjusted by the action of ciliary muscles. So these are ciliary muscles. These are ciliary muscles. You get the figure on the skin. These are ciliary muscles, and by the action of the ciliary muscles, the focal length of the eye can be varied. Now, the next part is retina. The next component of eye is retina. It acts like a light-sensitive skin to obtain the image of the object. It consists of rods and cone cells which are sensitive to light. So these are photoreceptors. The whole retina is made up of some photoreceptors. These are known as rod and cone cells. Okay, we have two types of cells, photoreceptors. One is cone cells, other is rod cells. So the name suggests that their shape. The name suggests their shape. So rod cells have rod-like structures and cone cells have cone-like structures. So these are rod cells and cone cells. So rod cells are responsible for vision at dim light, whereas cone cells gives us color vision. Okay. So color दिखने में क्या लगता है? कौन सेल लगता है और dim light में दिखने में night vision enable करता है कौन? वो हमारा rod cell. So now there is a question for you. So dogs and cats are lack of cone cells. So then tell me whether they will see black and white figure or color figure. Now this next component is optic nerve. See the figure? These are not optic nerves. So it is formed by the nerve fibers coming from the retina. So all the nerve fibers from the retina make your optic nerve. Okay. So it carries electrical impulses to the brain, and the brain finally interprets the signal. So when image is formed on the retina, so these light signals are converted to electrical signal by the nerve fibers, and this is carried by optic nerve to the brain, where the signal is interpreted by the brain. Now tell me one thing. So this is your what? This is your lens, and this makes an image. So this is convex lens. Most of the images will be what? So this will be most of the images are real. So since the images are formed on the retina, say it is a screen, so the images will be what? The nature of the image will be real. So if it is real, it is inverted. So the retina forms an inverted image, but still at the same time we see the figure erect. How is it possible? So make comment on the comment box. So then, contents of eye. So there are two types of liquids which are found within the eyes. So one is called aqueous humor and the other is known as vitreous humor. The first one, the aqueous humor. So what is aqueous humor and where it is found? So it is a thin transparent fluid similar to plasma. Okay, so plasma is the watery part of our blood. So it's made up of 99.9% of water and the rest 0.1% consists of sugars, vitamins, proteins and other nutrients. This fluid nourishes the cornea and the lens and gives the eye its shape. So it is aqueous humor. And then vitreous humor. So aqueous humor is found in the what? In between the cornea and the eyelids. Then vitreous humor. It is a thick, transparent, gelatinous tissue or jelly-like tissue filling the eyeball behind the lens and the retina. Okay, so it is found within the lens and the retina. 99% of it consists of water and the rest is mixture of collagen, proteins, salts and sugar. Despite the high water to collagen ratio, the vitreous is a firm jelly-like consistency. So it is purely water. Only 0.1% of is made up of sugar, vitamin, proteins. No? And then this 99% is water, but only 1% is collagen, protein, salt and sugar. Still it is what? It is jelly like and it is water. That means why? Because due to the presence of collagen. So functions of contents of eye. So first, aqueous humor. As well as nourishing the cornea and the lens by supplying nutrition such as the amino acids, glucose, the aqueous humor will maintain the intraocular pressure. So aqueous humor, the main function of the aqueous humor is to nourish the lens and the cornea, because the lens and the cornea are lack of blood vessels. So उसको खाना नहीं मिलता है, so खाना कैसे मिल सकता है? So through aqueous humor and some limbs. So that means, so इसका जो मेन पर्पस है उसको तो खाना देना है ना. So then मेंटेन इंट्राओक्यूलर प्रेशर. सो जो फ्लूइड है उसका जो प्रेशर है उसको मेंटेन करके रखना किसका काम है? एक्वस ह्यूमर. सो ट्रांसपोर्ट विटामिन सी इन फ्रंट ऑफ सेगमेंट टू एक्ट एज एन एंटीऑक्सीडेंट एजेंट. तो इसका विटामिन सी भी प्रोवाइड करते हैं उसको. सो प्रोवाइड इन्फ्लेशन फॉर एक्सपांशन ऑफ द कोर्निया. दिस इंक्रीजेस प्रोटेक्शन अगेंस्ट डस्ट, विंड, पोलन ग्रेन्स एंड अ नंबर ऑफ पैथोजेंस. सो ये क्या करता है? उसको ये प्रोटेक्ट भी करता है इस सारी चीज से ना, against dust, wind, pollen grains and number of pathogens. So then we will study vitreous humor, the function of vitreous humor. The vitreous performs a vital role in protecting your eye. So first, most importantly, it helps is to maintain its spherical shape. So जो spherical shape है of the eyeball is due to the vitreous humor. So वो maintain करता है. और then second point, the vitreous also comes in contact with the retina. The pressure of the vitreous humor helps to keep the retina in place. So it helps the retina to keep the retina in place. So इसका मतलब है वो जो ये क्या होता है? vitreous humor it also acts like a shock absorber. As a result, it helps to keep the retina in place. So कोई भी बाहर से जो इंजरी होता है उससे क्या होता है? रेटिना को कुछ मतलब इंजरी नहीं होता है. इसके किस लिए? Due to the presence of vitreous humor. Okay, so this is our eye, the figure of eye. You have to draw it on your copy. So and name the important parts. So this is our eye. So I start. This part is called the cornea. Through this cornea, light enters. Behind the cornea, there is a circular diaphragm. This is colored. So due to the presence of pigment, this is called what? This is called iris. So this is iris. And this iris has a hole or opening. This is called pupil. So behind this iris, there is a biconvex lens. So this is crystalline in nature. This is crystalline nature, and this is flexibility made up of flexible transparent tissue. This is held by a special type of body called ciliary body or ciliary muscles. So these are ciliary muscles, and these are known as suspensory ligaments. Okay, this part is called suspensory ligament, and these are ciliary muscles. Okay, these are suspensory ligaments. Then this region is vitreous humor. These are aqueous humor. and this is optic nerve, and this is the retina. So there is a point, it's called blind spot, is shown in the figure. So blind spot is the point through which the optic nerve crosses. So at this point there is no cone or rod cells, so there is no image formed on this point. So this is called blind spot, and you can easily experience the blind spot by some funny experiments. So if you draw this figure, then of course you have to level this with these names. So this is your eye, suppose. Okay. So based on this topic, I have made some questions for you. So you have to answer these questions. The first one is the bulb's frontal transparent film of the eyeball is known as. So option A is retina, B is cornea, C is iris, D is lens. So only one option is correct. So take up the correct option. Then the second question is the component which is responsible for the adjustment of the focal length of eye is A iris, B cornea, C pupil, and D ciliary muscle. So which one is correct? You have to take it out. Then the third one. When you come inside a room from a sunny day outside, you generally experience a temporary blindness. The responsible component is A retina, B iris, C cornea, and D none of the above. So which is correct? You have to mark it. So you can answer it and write it on the comment box. So it's over for the time being. We'll meet again with a new video. Thank you.